He's deconstructing piles. He knows they're in there. They will not get away. He won't rest until they're gone. It's Dan the Man. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Sawmill again. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry. If you didn't watch this morning's video, I think it's going to be titled, "What Does She Want Me to Cut?" Pretty interesting job. A lot in there about work holding and things like that. But we knocked that out. She's using them on a boat that she's building. Really kind of a unique boat, like a 36-foot inflatable with Verados on it. And she's taking it to the Caribbean, or the Caribbean, however you say it. And she wants to live down there. It's kind of a neat project, but she's redoing the whole thing, and she wanted to use this wood for cabinet doors and the top on her ice box. And I thought it came out great. So if you didn't watch that video, check it out. Now I'm on to replacing boards in a memorial bench at the new Veterans Center that my wife's charity built. I helped out too. Lots of tradespeople donated their time to make the Veterans Center happen. My wife puts in a lot of hours there a week, all charity hours. And they need some wood, and she wanted to do it out of cedar, but she wants some of them funky. So this leads to the log I have on the mill, and it's kind of a unique cutting job. We're going to see if I can pull it off. I did have to cut down a 12-footer, which was the last big cedar log that I had, to 6'6". There were multiple reasons for that as far as taper goes and inclusions, and there's some holes in the big end of it and so on and so forth. But I think we can make this happen. So I'm going to take you over. I'm going to show you the log, show you what we're going to try to do with it, because it's a little bit of a unique cutting job. Let's take a look. So I think the way this is going to go, what we need is we need 6 3.5 by 1.5 inch 2x4s. And it doesn't matter if they're 4, whatever. And we'll figure that out as we get into this. But my wife wants, there are 3 boards on the back of the bench, and she wants the 2x4 to have natural edge on the top and then natural edge on the bottom. So they kind of curve off like this and like that. And then a perfect 2x4 in the middle. And then on the seat where you sit, same thing. Natural edge on, there's 3 of them. Natural edge on the one in the back, natural edge on the one in the front, and a perfect 2x4 in the center. What I've done here is I measured out where I have 8 inches on the big flat, or actually, I'm sorry, on the small flat, and then made a bunch of 1.5 inch marks. Those 1.5 inch marks going down are going to equal out to 6 3/8. That's going to get me to a bottom mark that's 8 inches wide, natural edge both sides. And then it's going to leave me 2, I think 2x4s in this, 2 sets of 2x4s in the center. We'll make a cant out of the middle, and we'll cut those into 2x4, perfect 2x4s. What we have to do here, I'm holding it with manual clamps, is we're going to make this top cut, then we're going to flip it all the way over. We're going to get our 6 3/8 cut right here, and that's going to leave us 1, 2, 3, 4 is 6 inches, and there are 3 cuts in there is 3/8. We're going to take a slab off, 1.5 inch thick. We will probably flip it all the way back over again, because we'll have some more square edges down here to hold it, and take 1.5 inch off the top. Those will get edged into 4 2x4s with natural edge. We'll have a block in the middle. We'll spin that up and square it up. We'll cut a flat side on it. We're going to have to split the center cant in half. And we'll probably do that after we put a flat side on it. Flip it on its side, split it in half, spin it up, and then mill it into 2x4s, say 3.5, 3.5. I don't know. I don't know how the total is going to work here, but we only need 6. We're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have maybe 1 extra here. We will see. Now, it would be easy just to slab this thing all the way down, starting at that mark, and just go down 1.5 inches. It's just a pain to hold on to it. We may do that once we flip it over. If we can hold it when we flip it over the first time, we will slab it all the way down, and then we'll just edge it all off. So that's what we're going to try to do. I actually can come down, it looks like, and make my top cut here. I think that's at like 8 5/8, and drop down 1.5 inches and take this cut too. I think I'm still clear. It's going to be close on that manual clamp. I'm in a situation where I can use my hydraulic clamp. I can use this hydraulic stop. I can use my turner. I did use my toe board, and you guys don't let me forget to put that down. But I have to use a manual stop over there. So it's going to slow things down a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. It should only take a few minutes to do the whole thing. All right, so I did drop my manual stop. It was up a little bit too high to make that cut, the second cut. And we are going to take this at 8 5/8. We'll drop down to 7. We'll take a 2-inch flitch off. Then we'll flip this thing over, cut it at 6 3/8. Take a 2 and a 2. I mean, 1.5 inches, and go from there. This will go back on afterwards to get edged off. You can see what we got now. Now we can edge this off into 2 2x4s with the natural edge on both sides. That one's going to go off over here. Put that back on the mill later. Let's flip this thing all the way over, and we'll cut 6 3/8. Let's do the same thing. Nope, that's not right. We don't have that much meat here. Oh, because I took the 1.5 inches out. So now we have 4, should be 4, 3 inches, 4.5, 2 cuts, 4 3/4. Should be at 4 3/4. I actually think this worked out pretty perfect, to be honest with you. But this one's going to be edged off after. Probably just split it right in half right now, 1.5 inches. Have them spin it up. It's kind of a unique Norwood specific situation here. What I did was when I spun these up, my hydraulic clamp wouldn't come all the way over and clamp them. What I did was I backed my hydraulic clamp off like 2 inches, and then I took this manual stop, loosened it up and pushed it all the way over up against the clamp, and then tightened it down. Then I could clamp this right where it is. And now we're going to take the top off this thing, and hopefully we're going to get at least 4. We got plenty of room to get 4 2x4s out of this. So about 3.5 by 1.5 inches. So it looks like we're going to try and make our top cut about 9. Now let's think about this for a minute. So we don't have enough for 4 of them. I'm sorry, we have plenty for 4 of them. We don't have enough to get 6 out of here. 6 would be 10.5, and 2 cuts would be 10 3/4, and 10 3/4 is above it. So we're going to cut this thing at that 9, flip it over. We'll cut it at 6 1/8, and then split that in half at 3. We'll have all our clean 2x4s. These actually work out to be a possibility for the natural edge ones. I'll keep these aside. I messed up. 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 I took that at 6 1/8. That's why that piece was so big. It should have been at 7 1/8. Son of a gun. Gosh darn it. Stupid math. It was dumb. I came up to 6 1/8, and that's 3 3. It needs to be 3.5 and 3.5. That's why there was so much left on the top. There shouldn't have been. There would have been another inch out of them. It would have just been a skim cut. All right, well, I am going to take this at 3. Let's make sure there's no imperfections. Nope. So I'm going to get 2 perfect ones to go with those when I edge them off. Damn it, what a waste. Shit. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. All right, let's cut it. Let's make sure it's solid. That's not going anywhere. Fuck. Well, we got 2 center ones here. And these are going to be a challenge to hold on to. Let's just go ahead and cut them with you while I'm here. I'm going to put the small end down this way. I think that's got it right there. That's wicked solid. Let's say I'm 9.5 right here. Almost 10, cut it in half at 5. It looks clear there. I think that's what I'll do. Just going to cut it in half at 5. And that's going to do it. And I'll show you what this is going to look like. So that is what the bench and the back both are going to look like. They'll both be similar. Rounded off on both sides, the square one in the middle. That should look pretty cool. Actually, based on the width of those, might be good that I cut those other ones small, because I might, instead of the 2x4 in the middle, might trade that out for a smaller one, depending on how it fits on the bench itself. That might be too wide. So it's actually might work out in our favor that we cut those small ones. So now we can send a whole bunch of material out. Let's get Kate out here and see what she thinks. All right, so I just called the boss out so we can get final approval on the bench seat. She's coming out with Collie. We're babysitting Collie for 10 days. Our friends went away to Scotland. Collie's a Belgian Shepherd and has become Danny's best friend, although she wears him out. Now, you guys are off of mics. I apologize for that, so that you can hear Kate too. And we're going to go over and take a look at the wood. Say that again.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Hi, Collie.
Oh, honey.
How you like them?
They're beautiful.
That's going to work out good on that bench, right?
Oh, it's going to look so good on the bench. And it smells so good. I think it's like the perfect size.
Yeah, well, I messed up and I cut. I tried to make 3.5 inches and 3.5 inches equal 6 instead of 7. So I have some narrow pieces over here.
Okay.
So if that's too wide for the bench, we can either take the 2x4 out of the middle and replace it with a thinner one, or we can shave down the outside ones. But either way, we'll make them fit. You set the center one first in the center. We'll clamp it in place, set these in, make sure they're going to fit on the bench. And then just spot the holes from the bottom, drill through them, put the carriage bolts in them, all good.
It's a beautiful width. I really like the thickness. It both looks good and obviously won't warp or anything like that.
And you can do your grinding magic on the outside edge.
I can't even wait. You know how much I love to shape.
Oh yeah. So, Kate is the shaping guru.
I'm really good at shaping with the grinder.
All right, great. They met the seal of approval.
Awesome. 100%.
All right. Great for the Veterans Center. Collie, don't eat anything.
Probably like cedar. It smells so good. I love when you cut cedar.
Well, that turned out good. We got the seal of approval from the boss. The dogs are all happy. Everybody's playing. I'm going to get this place cleaned up, get all my stuff put away from this morning, get my mill head blown out, put the mill away for the day, get all my boards stacked so they can go to the Veterans Center. We'll see if I end up putting those in. You watch. I'm going to end up putting those in. She kept saying, just cut them. I got a guy who keeps bugging me to put them in. We'll see. When I mentioned Kate and shaping, Kate is a shaping master. She can take a square board and make it look like it's natural edge. You guys, pro word of advice here. And I've done $40,000 white oak desks, and Kate has shaped them. Get yourself an angle grinder. I can't possibly recommend one higher than the DeWalt, but I mean, if you're a Milwaukee guy or a Makita guy, so be it. I like the battery ones myself, the big battery ones. Get yourself the sanding discs that go on them. Forget about the Arbortech things and all that. Get the sanding discs. You can buy the little kit at Home Depot with the black pad that goes on there, screws on your angle grinder, and then you can buy the disc and everything from, say, I know they make it lower than 36, like 18 grit, and go all the way up to 80. You won't believe how well you can shape wood like that. And Kate has become a master at it. The hardest thing for Kate is to put it down when she's done enough. She's always seeing things. And then the other thing that Kate doesn't quite do well is switch grits. I like to switch grits when I'm doing it. So I'll start with the coarsest grit I possibly can to remove as much material as fast as I can, and then go up through the grits to like 80, and then real light pressure at 80 to smooth it off, and then maybe a random orbit sander to just sand out the edge if that's what the job calls for, a perfectly mirror smooth, very organic edge. And it goes really fast. So what Kate will do is when this bench is kind of clamped in place, probably before we secure it down, she will go in there with the angle grinder and shape the front and shape the top of the backrest and get all the bark off and make it look real organic and really neat. So it's always nice to have that. And really, guys, an angle grinder is the way to go. Pro tip of the day for you guys, especially if you make them. So I did a 40-foot white oak desk one time, and it was in a room. It went down this side of the room, all the way across, like 28 feet across the back of the room, and then this side of the room. Draw bore mortise and tenon corner, 45s on the corners. Slabs were cut with a 56-inch bar. They were huge. Draw bore mortise and tenon in the center. I'm sorry, not draw bore mortise and tenon in the center, because we had to be able to get the last slab with the corner in. And I actually made offset sliding tenons so that the slab could go in. It had to slide around window frames and stuff like that. So you couldn't just put it in and go down because of the tenons. What I did is I made the center an offset sliding tenon. So the piece had a chunk out of the mortise. So it went in and it dropped down, and then it keyed all the way back to fit in, because the points on the 45s on both ends were flush. So you had no geometry to go in at an angle or anything like that. And then we use the countertop draw in pins and routed rebates in the bottom to pull the center of the the big 45 slabs, both like 14 footers on the 28-foot run, draw bore mortise and tenon in the corners. So we could slide the edge ones in, and then use draw bore pegs, use mahogany pegs on it. It came out outstanding. And Kate, when you put it together and you dry fit it, and you're doing big slabs like that, and you have joints, the natural edge never lines up. You're going to cut the backs that go against the wall, your straight parts, and around all the out. We made little semicircles where you could come up from the outlets underneath. We cut around, trim around windows, a whole bunch of different things. You need that part to line up and be straight and all cut out and all ready to go. But the front part on the natural edge side, those don't line up really well. Well, that's where Kate came in. We dry fit the whole thing together, and Kate came in and then ground the whole front profile so everything met up perfect, and it didn't look like it was fit together. You know, it just looked like one piece of wood all the way around. She did an absolutely outstanding job. But that's it for now. I always appreciate the watch, guys. We appreciate the watch. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. You know, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Things you agree with, things you don't agree with, things you might have done different. Any of the interactions help the algorithm suggest our channel, helps the channel grow. If you need something from Norwood, go down in the description below. I have a Norwood affiliate link. If you copy and paste that to your browser, it takes you right to Norwood's sell page. And if you buy something, it's just, or if you go there, it tells them that you came from our video. Make sure you hit that little notifications bell so you know when videos come out from us. And thanks again for the watch. For now, it's Pirate Solutions out.